Aloha and welcome to another Roland MC-707 tutorial. I am Unit E, and in this video I'm going to show you how to connect your iPad to the MC-707 and use any synth apps or drum machine apps that are on the iPad and run them through a track on the 707. Now, you don't have to run it through one of the tracks if you want to use them all for internal sounds. You can keep it on the PC input and just use the menu to adjust the level of it. Or I like to put it on a track, so I do have knob control and I could send it through effects. So let's get into it. The first thing we're going to look at is on the 707, and we're going to use track 2. A couple things I want to do. First off is I want to press the project button, go to settings, go to PC in, one tab over from the common tab, and make sure my PC level and all the other pan, delay, send, and reverb send are at 0. Once I have that, that's all I need for the project. The next thing I'm going to want to do is I want to make sure that my track MIDI channel is the same as my iPad synth channel. I do so by Shift and Knob Assign. That will get me into the utility menu, or I could go into my system settings. Once you enter the system settings by pushing C4 as a button or the enter button, you'll be presented with the control tab, MIDI tab, and display tab. Under the control tab, you do want to scroll down using C3 or your arrow keys and go to USB driver. It must be in generic mode to work with any iPad or iPhone or Android tablet or phone. If you are on vendor and you do need to turn it to generic, it will tell you to reboot the device. Simply turn it to generic and then power cycle your 707. And once you're back here, you can go ahead and get out of your control menu. Get back to the system settings and go into your MIDI tab. Make sure that track channel 2, which I'm using, is set to the MIDI channel you want to set your synth on your iPad. Also, you will want to make sure that MIDI sync out USB is turned on, and then exit out of that. Back to the home screen. You will also then press Shift and the track select button for that track we're using. I'm using track 2, so the select button under the fader. That will get you into your tone track settings, where you'll be presented with the general. In there, you want to go down to your audio insert and select PC in left right. Cursor over to the MIDI tab and make sure that you have TX USB MIDI turned to on for this track. Also make sure that TX control change, and if you like, program change for changing patches when changing clips. Control change will allow you to map your knobs on your track to the functions or knobs on your virtual synth. We'll move down here. You'll see these filter CC, mod CC, and FX CC numbers. Now, with the one I'm using with the Moogs, generally with almost any synth, CC74 is your filter cutoff. CC71 is generally the resonance of the filter, and we'll just leave it at those two for now. Exit out of that, and let's look at the iPad and the Moog Minimoog synth. To make this work with any Apple product, you will need a special adapter, which is called a camera kit. It is simply a Lightning to USB-A adapter. This will connect into your iPad and then connect your regular USB cable from that to your 707. On the Minimoog or any virtual synth that you are choosing, go into your system settings or your settings menu. Find your MIDI tab or MIDI menu. In this case, it'll be right there, MIDI. You'll get an input and output for most of the time. Choose the channel that you have for your 707's track channel. Also, you should see the MC-707 as an input, also as an output. You can get into mapping CCs in these where you can decide what number each one of these things are going to be. We're not going to worry about it, but as you can see, 74 is your cutoff, 71 is your resonance. Once you have your MIDI connections made, you should be able to simply press the pads on your 707 with track 2 highlighted, and it will play the Minimoog. Looking at the 707. We now have control of the Minimoog on our iPad with track 2 of the MC-707. We also have filter cutoff and resonance as such. Let's get that resonance up. Now, with this being on a track channel, I can also add reverb since this is the standard or defaulted reverb knob. Let's add a little now. Also remember, as a quick side note, if you hold your track select button, you'll get a little menu up here that has level, pan, delay send, and reverb send. So I can add a little delay if I want to. And it's now an audio track. Also keep in mind, I can now sequence my Minimoog with track 2, which gives me 16 clips and 16 different sequences to make with my Minimoog. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, give it a thumbs up to spread the word about it. Subscribe if you like what I'm doing and want to continue seeing more of what's going on, because I got a lot more in store. And of course, ring that bell if you want to be notified of any new videos coming out. I do want to thank my Patreon members that have supported me through a lot of this. I have you guys in my heart. I thank you. I'm grateful for you. If you want to join and help support me and get a little more extra content, check out the description of the video below for a link to my Patreon page. And as always, thanks for watching.